Hey guys, sorry about the video setup. I don't actually have, well, I do have a tripod, but I don't exactly know where it is. And this is the first time that I've made a vlog video that's not about a certain topic. So yeah, um, I was born on the 7th of August 1991, and my birth name was Robert Ronald Heslop. I was born in a city in the northeast of England called Newcastle upon Tyne. You can tell I don't exactly have the accent. Yeah, um, no reason. um, yeah, so sorry about that. Bear with me. um, so I've lived in the same house since I was born, and I've lived with my parents. My dad's called Robert, also. My mum's called Tracy, and my older brother, is called Mark. He's actually now married and lives with his wife and children. And my sister, who's called Laura, who's also older than me, and she now lives in her own house, like on the other side of the part of Newcastle that we live in. Like all my family live in the same region. So as you can tell, I can't draw. Yeah, I do apologise about that. Oh my god, I just wrote lol. Yeah, sorry. um, yeah, so quite a lot of things have interested me, since I was young. Um, I really love photography. I've got a DeviantArt account. I love languages. I love reading about linguistics and the actual meanings behind languages. Uh, Something else which I love is music. I've loved it since I was a child. I've played piano since I was 11 and I'm now 21, and I've sang since I was a child. And I've also played flute and violin. And something else which I've loved is film, and I just love watching films, and I love watching the people who have been inspiring to me, especially actors and actresses. And the reason why people like that have been inspiring to me is because I went to a place called Stagecoach. Stagecoach is a weekend theatre arts school, and it's where you basically go and do an hour of dance, drama, and singing. And I went there for 13 years. So because of that, I love the theatre. I love, going there. I love watching things, whether it be musical or Shakespeare. Things that I did at Stagecoach whilst there, as I was part of the children's choir for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, the national UK tour, when it came to my city, and I also did Evita when it came to my city, and Whistle Down the Wind. And those were some of the best moments of my teenage years and my childhood. I also sang as part of a backing choir for Rod Stewart at St James's Park, which is our football stadium here in Newcastle, and the crowd, obviously, it was about 15,000 to 18,000 people, but we don't know what the number was. I also sang at Durham Cathedral, and that was with the Stagecoach North East Regional Choir, and we did the choir there with Farrell Smith, who was on Britain's Got Talent. That's if I could spell her name correctly. And I did get her autograph as well, and I've also got Keith Lemon's autograph. For those of you from the UK who know Keith Lemon, is the comedian who does Celebrity Juice. Of course, there are sad times in people's lives and things which cause problems, and something which was a massive thing for me is not for me, but for my family, was mainly for my sister. In 2002, she developed a common cold, and this cold had attacked her heart. Yeah, and this had caused her to be diagnosed with a condition called dilated cardiomyopathy, or DCM, and it's because of that that she's had difficulty with things such as breathing, and can't even walk like 10 steps without getting out of breath, and she can't even sleep like we can normal like human hours. However, in good news this year, after a long wait, and she'll be getting an operation from the NHS, which has been discussed between her and her doctors, and it's basically an implant of like a defibrillator. I can't exactly remember the name for it, and she'll also be getting a pacemaker to go with the implanted defibrillator, which will help her to breathe and sustain her heart rate. Also, there was sadness in times for me. In 2007, I had a grand mal seizure, and this grand mal seizure had happened just randomly one night, and then I had another one and another one the same night, and I was taken into hospital by an ambulance, and all of a sudden that week I was diagnosed with what's commonly known as epilepsy, or the actual type of my epilepsy was epilepsy of the temporal lobe caused by anxiety. And that was when I was 17 years old doing A-levels, and it made me because of that I can't drive, and when I went to study at university I wasn't allowed to move away from home because I was still having, and I still do to this day, have what they're called like funny moments, but of course drive is another word for to drive yourself to ambition, and that's something that I've always looked upon, and that's been inspired to me from my sister, because she's had the last 10 years with a heart problem. Let me redraw that. Yeah, a heart problem, and I love foreign languages so much. It's something massive in my life, and I also love foreign cultures. I love watching films in other languages. Yo hablo el español. Falo un pouco português. Português de Portugal, sim. Je parle un peu de français. J'adore le français. Et ik spreek een beetje Nederlands. And it's these little things that just help you through life. So something which I drive myself to is the qualification I have for TEFL, which is teaching English as a foreign language. I was meant to do an internship this year in China, and that was meant to be in February, but the company found out about my epilepsy, and because of that I got dropped. I then went to Spain in February instead for a interview in Madrid. Sorry about the spelling. But I didn't get the job there. And however, on May 2nd this year, I'm going to Thailand, and I'm going there to work with a company called Media Kids Academy, and to work in a high school in a town called Chaiyaphum, which is 4 hours north of Bangkok. And it's for this reason alone why I've created this account on YouTube, because I've had another channel on here like for languages, but the reason why I've created this one is because I can share with you my experiences from when I'm actually in Thailand, when I have free time, and also because it gives me, you know, just the ability to do what everybody else does and vlog about your life in general, because it's such an amazing thing these days. Like YouTube is like this massive community of people, and yeah. So what I'm basically saying is that the life I've dreamt about, I've reached it, and I'm going to Asia. The furthest west, or sorry, not west, the furthest east that I've been so far has been the west coast of Norway. So I'm so excited about going to Asia. So here I come, and yeah, I'm just so happy. So thanks for watching.